Welcome back to Helsingborg, Sweden for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships. We have got all sorts of action about to unfold here in the 84 and 84 plus junior women. I'm joined by none other than Ryan Sixpack Labadap. What do you think of today's session so far?
Well, Gary, this is going to be another tight race. These divisions are absolutely stacked. If you look at the prognosis based off of the openers, it might be tight right down to the last deadlift, starting off from the first squat.
Toshishita from Japan opening with 120. So we'll have two groups in this. We've got a 120 opener. Yeah, well under her best lift. That's a good opening lift, that one.
Mm-hmm. You just want to get your foot in the door.
And there are some strong girls in these weight classes.
Yep, some world-class athletes. I was just saying before we came on, Gracelyn Dugan from Canada, I know, has won the silver medal in wrestling as a junior and is a scrappy competitor.
And that will certainly help in her campaign in powerlifting. Nomura from Japan, 120. A good opening lift, and she's opening 20 kilos under her personal best, which is a nice conservative opening lift. So I imagine they've been watching out the back, all the different weight classes, seeing what's happening when you open a little bit too high, and made sure they're on point.
It's even though it seems like total logic, you don't want to take chances with an opener. Variables come into play, and we've seen disaster strike time and time again.
Times. Anna Emsik from Poland, 140. Last year of juniors. They're just going to keep all our fingers crossed and get all these young ladies with an opener on the board. It'd be very nice to see.
Poland has a pretty stacked team this year. They're represented in most of the weight classes. Depth looks pretty good.
Depth is good.
Yep.
Probably a little tougher than you'd want for an opener, though.
And sometimes you wonder if it's just nerves, just turning on the nervous system a little bit, waking up, or
yeah, I mean, her personal best is 145, so pretty close to a personal best there. Polina Leszewicz from Poland now, 142 and a half.
This is even closer to the personal best. But I will say this, as a junior, your personal best, you fly by them a lot quicker. So maybe it's an older personal best. She has long past it. We're about to find out.
And coach is looking on very closely. They had a rough time in the earlier session, so depth is good.
It is a lot of work for an opener. That's
a little bit of work there.
Kind of look like maybe a second attempt. You're not gonna. You got two more attempts. You're gonna be working a lot in the squats.
And Jessica Lowe, Sweden, 147 and a half.
Sweden has been surprising people. The host nation, some of their athletes have really stepped up and won some world championships already, masters and juniors.
And speaking of world champions, she has got plenty of experience under her belt.
Is that right?
We got the gold medal at the European Championships this year. We got a gold medal in the World Championships last year.
Whoa. That moved like you want an opener to move, and that's that wealth of experience. You're saying, look, it's hard to base where you're going to end up off of openers. Some people open closer to the limit, like we see in the Polish team.
She will be a force to be reckoned with. And I mean, if you look at her predicted total for Jessica Lowe. 4:30, sitting in third position. Her predicted total is well off where she's going to finish. She's got the experience to open conservatively on all lifts, so she's going to add 30, 40 kilos to that. Thurston from the USA, 155.
Temp selections usually pretty on point for the Americans.
Squat.
Depth looks good from here. And that's a good lift. So we move now to Anastasia Nanaeva from Russia, 157.5. So her personal best is listed as 150. But I think they had a nationals late last year and early this year, I think.
Squat.
Depth looks good. Ooh, those knees cave.
A little bit of a stall in the middle as the knees dropped in, but she picked it up and pushed the knees out, and you can see the speed come out there. You can probably see on the replay there.
Yeah, when you see a knee cave on the opener, does it concern you about picking your next attempt?
Well, I don't have a concern. It depends on the athlete. I mean, if they're good at listening to cues, and realistically that one there, I mean, you can see the speed change as she pushed her knees out. So if she can respond to cues well, it's not too much of a problem. Ines Alouche from France, 162.5. So 5 kilos off a personal best.
Squat.
Depth looks good.
Yeah, it was a little bit of work, but I think there was more nerves work than anything. That goes on the board. Graceland Dugan from Canada. Looking for 165.
And Graceland has the opportunity to eat into the weight class. She doesn't have to cut. When you're traveling over the Atlantic time zones, cutting is very difficult while flying. Not a variable that she has to deal with. Probably going to feel pretty good for these squats.
Well, she looks extremely focused for this opener, which is really what you want. You want that focus. You don't want to be too relaxed.
Yeah, she's got intensity.
Yeah, it was clean all the way through. I mean, there was never in doubt, but it was probably just a little slow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she does like to squat slow, tempoed a little bit because she loads, but we'll see what they say. You got to pace yourself.
Hanna Kasalainen from Finland now, 175, and that's certainly a name we're all familiar with.
This will be over her personal best, but again, 20 years old, personal best gets smashed all the time.
Squat.
Depth looks good.
Oh, there's a little bit of work there.
It's also work, yeah. You know, so sometimes when you're familiar with squatting with certain individuals, they always squat a certain amount from opener to third. You can keep increasing the weight. We seen it with Luke Tremblay yesterday, and the weight increases, and it kind of all looks the same. We're going to find out. The second attempts are really going to be an indicator if they opened high or if it's going to look pretty much the same, the bar speed the same.
Well, we're about to find out. Nomura from Japan, 127.5. She had a good opening lift.
And this is also where it's a reminder of the projecteds, which are based off of your openers. It all depends on where you end up. And it's tough to have a prognosis.
She is still well under her personal best, which is really good to see. And put in a little bit of work there. She just tipped forward and created a little bit more work than she really needed to do. Just probably created a little bit more work than was really necessary.
I don't think she'll be getting around personal best territory today.
No, I think that would be a long way to roll. Toshishida from Japan, 130. So this should be a fairly solid second. And we talk about powerlifting not really being a linear progression. You're going to hit some personal bests in some competitions, and some competitions you're not.
And yeah, in some it's personal best in one event, not a personal best in the other.
And that was a good second squat there.
Yeah, handled 10-kilo increase and handled it pretty well. It's a mixed bag. You never know what you're going to get.
Chest up all the way through, never faltered. Paulina Leszowicz from Poland, 147.5. So this will give her a personal best.
5-kilo jump sounds about right. What do you feel about it?
Yeah, look, I think, her opening lift was probably a little slower than you really want, but the 5 kilo is probably a safe bet.
You don't usually go too much lower than that in a squat event. If you're going up only by 2.5 kilo after your opener, you definitely open too high.
Yeah, you've only got 2.5 kilos after your opener.
Yeah, something went wrong.
Squat.
Oh, wow, we're getting close to the limit.
Tough there.
It's kind of in a position, 2.5 might break the bank. That's...
Yeah, it's always interesting with squats. It's a large muscle group, so 5 kilos, isn't a huge stretch. Even to the point at this sort of weight and body weight, 5 kilos probably isn't going to feel that much different on the back.
I'll have to see what they choose.
Anna Nimsek from Poland, 150. This will give her a personal best.
10-kilo jump from her opener.
Yeah, and her opener was a bit slow.
So 10 kilos. Might see a bit of a struggle.
Squat.
Depth is there.
It was tough. It was a lot of work.
You know what? The Polish lifters are kind of pushing the limit in the second attempts already.
That was a lot of work on that one.
The other Polish lifter went up 2.5. Maybe because you don't want to expend the budget already in the first
Still
event.
got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Jessica Lowe, Sweden, 155. Plenty of support in the crowd. And that's the sort of jump I was expecting from Jessica.
Yeah. I think she's pacing herself well. The opener was smooth. She should handle 7.5 nicely. And the crowd has been really supportive for the local lifters.
Yeah, look, Jessica, just all she needs to do is just follow her plan. She knows she's a strong lifter. Opening conservatively, really smart. Don't worry about the predicted totals. Don't worry about where you're ranking in those. Just stick to your plan.
Squat.
Look good.
Yeah, that should be a good lift.
It was work, but a second attempt should be work. And now she's in a position, maybe another 5 kilo, you think, Gary?
I'd be looking at 162.5 probably.
Yeah, 7.5 kilo.
So Ayla Thurston from the US, 162.5.
This is a personal best, 7.5 kilo jump. Nobody's missed yet, although we have seen some indications we're getting close to the
We're
limit.
certainly getting very close to the limit now, some of them. Poland will be happy that they've got the openers and the second on the board.
Mm-hmm.
They had an absolutely rough time in the last session.
Squat.
That's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
that was the right amount of work for a second lift.
Handled it well. She never got pushed out of position at all by the weight, which is a good indication everything's working well. You see the elbows stay down, chest up, knees track over the feet. And the you see a
Anastasia Minieva.
10-kilo jump when we thought 150 was close to the limit. 10 kilos, surely
It's a big, big call.
could be some fireworks.
Anastasia Minieva from Russia, 165.
Nice SBD shot right there. Beautiful belts.
Great sponsors of
Squat.
the IPF as well. Yeah, those knees are still kicking in. And that's, I mean, you're going to get away with it for a while, but there's going to come a point where those knees kicking in is just going to cause the whole breakdown of the form, and the lift isn't going to go through. You'll get away with it for a while, but it's going to limit your progress.
Yeah, once you get around 95%, it's
Yeah.
there's a point of no recovery. You got to tighten up those gaps in technique.
Ines Alachet from France, 172.5.
It's a 10-kilo jump, but she handled her opener well.
Really takes her time with the setup.
And it's good to see that kind of maturity in a junior, because 1 minute is a long time to set up. You got all the time in the world as long as you hit the platform.
Yeah, look, I mean, I like them to take their time, but I don't like them to take too much time. She's down to 26 seconds. If she's got to re-rack for any reason, I mean, we're down to 20 seconds now, so if she has to re-rack for any reason, it's not enough time.
Depth looks good.
looks
That's
pretty
work.
good.
Ooh, kind of.
A little bit off skew on the way up there.
Yep, almost lost her balance, but she kept it.
Just sort of drove a little bit harder with one side.
Looked like at the top she almost bobbled it. Regained herself.
Yeah, hard to see from that one. Graceland Dugan, Canada, 172.5.
165 was worked. 7.5 kilo jump. We're still 5 kilo below her personal best. No stranger to international experience flying around the world competing, but that's in the wrestling arena. This is her first Worlds.
Time for something new. Oh,
Look, I said she was a fighter, but I think there might have been down up.
I think it might have been. Let's wait and see. There was.
No one will ever accuse Graceland of not being a fighter,
She
fighting
put
for
in the fight
reps.
on that one.
Yeah.
And you could see, you know, her knees started to drop in there. And we're getting to that top end, and that's when it starts having an effect.
Push the knees out. You think she has it, Gary?
Drive the knees out, she'll almost double that power output. Hanna Kasalainen from Finland. And she's got plenty of experience too. 20 years of age. Picked up 4th place at the European Championships last year. She picked up a silver medal in Belarus in 2017.
Wow. You know, at 20 to be powerlifting competitively for 5 years and already have that kind of international experience. They start younger and younger.
Squat.
That looks good.
And that is one heck of a fight on that one.
Yeah, we're really towing that line in the second attempts.
Really pushing the envelope. There's not a whole lot left there. Her opener was slow as well though, so not that slow.
Maybe it's how she squats. One thing I do like, the bar pass stayed up, down. She didn't get pulled out of position. However, attempt selection has got to be on point for a lot of these girls in the thirds.
It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
So we move into the thirds now. So Nomura from Japan. Yeah, Castellano just going there with 2.5 kilos. Yeah,
I think I agree with
that's
that.
smart.
Yeah, I think I agree with
five
that.
would have been. I think 5 would have been a stretch and a possibility, but you've got 2.5 is a safer game. And you're better off putting on 2.5 than none.
Yeah, percentage-wise, it could drop from 85% to 50-50 just with 2.5 more kilo.
Squat.
So 135 for Nomura. And you can see she kept that head up through the whole thing, and that's what made the difference.
And in terms of temp selection, it got progressively harder, and they probably got every ounce out of their lifter. Probably didn't have another 2.5 kilo there. Nicely done. That's really what you want to do as a coaching
look,
staff.
I mean, at the end of the day, she could have ground out another 2.5 maybe, but it's a lot of energy expenditure. And then all of a sudden you've got to relook at your plan for your bench and your dead because you've used so much energy.
And like you said, if it's a maybe 50-50, well, then you grind it out and miss. You lost all that energy, like you said.
It's a lot of energy for no gain.
Yep.
Toshishita from Japan, 145.
That's a 15-kilo jump. She took a 10 kilo initially. It's more rare to see a bigger jump from second to third, but we've seen it before. Let's just see if she's overreaching.
Squat.
No, she's lifted 145.5 before. And she
Nice.
handles 145 just fine.
Yeah.
No problems at all.
You know, some lifters, their strategy, they say, look, I got one big squat. Please don't put my other two squats too close to my one big one because that's the way I like it, and it chews up too much energy.
So Polina Leszowicz now from Poland, 150. This will be a personal best, I think. It's only 2.5 kilos
We
from
both
a second.
we both thought 2.5 kilos probably appropriate. That's what they put on. The second one was work. This one is going to take a whole lot of effort.
Yeah. Let's see if she's got some fight in the tank.
Squat.
Depth's good.
And just, you could see when she started that squat, she really leant forward into it.
It
And just couldn't recover that.
you know, the 147 was a big grinder. Now 150 for a teammate, we both thought. Are you surprised to see a 10-kilo jump after that?
I am certainly a little bit surprised.
I would have thought 2.5, and they go a full 10. I could be, we could be proven wrong right now
I hope I am.
by upping the intensity, but based off of the second, that's an indicator. The odds got to be low.
Oh, here we go, 160 for Anna Nemzik from Poland. Well, she's certainly brought a little extra intensity to the bar this time.
I'll agree with that. And sometimes that can make the world of difference. You just got to take the weight more seriously.
Squat.
Depth is good. She's putting in the fight. It's not happening.
No, and that was close to even
And
possibly getting hurt if she didn't get
yeah,
it
great
off her
job
back.
from the spotters there. They read that quite well.
Yeah.
She put in a fight, and they let her fight until it got unsafe. So Jessica Lowe, 160.
And I think 5 kilos appropriate.
Yeah, no, I think this is a good move. I think it's a nice, safe one.
Listen to that crowd behind. I love it when the home crowd gets behind the home lifters.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's possibly a 162. I think she could possibly grind that at 162.5, but it's a lot of energy. And she's planning the long game here.
See what they say about depth.
Yeah,
I think
it's
you're
gonna be
right.
touch and go. Yeah, not deep enough.
They're going to go to the jury. It was borderline. It's on the line.
Yeah,
but
look, it's the third lift. This is a good time to go to the jury on this one. I
Yeah,
think.
because
she's
you
had
might-
2 good lifts with white lights.
you might need those kilos. Just so everyone at home, you need at least one white light to approach the jury.
The jury's not having any of that,
Nope. Fair enough.
but it was definitely worth a walkover.
I'll have to agree, sir.
Ayla Thurston, USA, 167.5. This will shoot her up into the bronze medal position for the squat.
Five-kilo jump, 7.5 kilo personal best.
Squat.
Depth is
Oh,
good.
she's got to put in the work for it, but she gets it to the top.
You see the veins throughout the neck into the chest. She is tight as a drum and ready for that fight.
Well, someone that wants to bring the fight now, Anastasia Manaeva from Russia. She wants to bring the fight. This will move her up into the bronze medal position. And you can see the increase in intensity and focus there.
Yep. As the bar increases, so does the intensity.
Squat.
Oh, she just got away with that one, I think.
Yep.
And she gets it on the board.
Knees come in, and
Any more than that, it would have broken, I think.
it was, I think, the perfect attempt selection by the Russians. And
Yeah, absolutely spot on there. Graceland Dugan, Canada, 172.5. So she missed this on the
depth.
second. It was just depth, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was still
It was a
work.
fight, but she-
Yeah. So here's a question for you, Gary. It was a big fight. Ship, do you take a little much? Obviously, she's got a lot of fight in her, though. If there's one thing I'm not going to question with Graceland is how much fight she has. She just has to sink it a little lower.
Yeah, I mean, the downside to having a fight in your second, and if she's got to grind it on the third as well, that is a lot of energy
Yep.
early in the competition.
Oh, look at that scrap. Now,
Yeah,
let's
and
see what they
looked,
say.
That looked like a little less of a fight than the second, actually. And still not deep enough.
It was
And you
borderline.
can see Jeff sending Vicky to the jury there. They're going to have a bit of a conversation.
Might as well.
Yeah, there's two reds.
On the one side, it looked good, but she did get one white, so that was probably the good side. It's worth a conversation.
Ines Alache from France, 177.5. $1,775, 5 kilo increase. She's been strong. The French have been super strong.
$10 kilos past her personal best. Uncharted territory for Ines.
Well, here we go. 177.5.
Squat.
She's going to have to fight for it, and
Yeah.
you can see her get off balance there.
Again, the spotters and loaders are doing an
Great
excellent
job
job.
there. You know, they grabbed that, they kept her under the bar. You know, they made sure she was safe, they were safe. Brilliant job. Henna Kasalainen from Finland now, 182.5. Just a 2.5 kilo increase, which I think is spot on the money. She has the gold medal in the squat wrapped up. Alache has the silver, and Mineva has the bronze. This one's for the couple of extra kilos.
Yeah, and looking at the bigger picture, if she's going to chase down Thurston, 2.5 kilo will help.
Yeah, and I think 2.5 kilos is probably the limit, having looked at the last one.
And it may even be over the limit. Let's see. Oh, wow.
Oh, that was definitely the top end.
Yeah, nice fight.
It's on the board. That extra couple of kilos could make all the difference.
Yeah, it can. You got to fight for those kilos when the opportunity arises.
So we move straight into the 84 pluses now. And there's some familiar names in there as well. Evasiva from Russia. She is going to be hard to peg down. If she is having a good day, she's going to be tough to peg down. And the great thing for her is not a huge amount of travel time. There's only an hour difference in the time zones.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously with the or the 84 pluses, a factor of having to cut while traveling, you don't have to worry about that. However, time zone change and travel takes a lot out of you. That's deep.
Depth is very, very good.
Convincing the judges, don't worry about me when it comes to squat depth.
And she gets the 3 white lights.
FM Stiva is obviously a medal favorite. Miles from the U.S., as well as Valo from Finland. I mean, it's still going to be a tight race. And Chester, if anyone starts missing lifts, can obviously sneak onto the podium.
And Ireland, Sarah Gardner from Ireland, 160.
It's going to match her previous best, but at 22 and only lifting 2 years competitively. Those early years, you're just smashing through your personal bests every couple months. That is so deep. Maybe even deeper than she needed.
Yeah, sometimes you, I mean, it's great to sink it on that first one when it's a weight you can handle.
That was
But
that was
you
very
want to
deep.
be careful on the next ones.
She actually shook her head when she came up. I think she was like, wow, I think I might have overshot the depth. That's okay. Do it with your opener, not with your max.
Melissa Bird, Great Britain, 162 and a half. This is 22 kilos above her personal best.
Yeah, that's a big personal best for her. Although she's only 21 and first year competing, you see big gains.
Well, she handled that quite well.
Yeah, a little bit of helicoptering motion, a little untidy, which you might expect, I guess, for a lifter just starting out, but the strength.
Yeah, plenty of power. Shelby Miles from the US.
Shelby's hit 182.5 before. 167 is not even close to that. Now, we have to see how quickly this moves. But if she's on point and has her A game, definitely a contender for the overall gold.
Well, she hit a 182.5 last year at the Raw Nationals. So
A year ago for 21-year-old, you know, she could be far
a lot
beyond
of
that.
progress since then.
It's going to be interesting. She's also the lightest lifter in this class.
Yep, so that could work to her favour later on.
Yep. Now, it moved fast. We got to see what they say about the
Yeah,
depth.
look, from here it looked pretty good.
3
it
whites. That was a very convincing opener.
That's what you want it to look like. Mirka Valo, Finland, 170.
Also a potential medal favorite here if she could pace herself. Now, it's harder to distinguish how far she's going to go. Her previous personal best is 170. You got to see how this moves.
Squat.
It was a little bit of work for an opener. I don't know if it was work because it was too heavy, or I think it might have been work because she got a little bit out of position. If we see the replay, you can see she just gets a little bit out of position there, hips pop up. As soon as she jams those elbows under and the chest comes up, she's fine.
And that's fair play. We've all been in those positions where, well, it was a little untidy. I made it a little more work, but
yeah, look,
it's not a problem.
you can be powerlifting for 30 years and you still hit a squat and mess it all up.
Reps happen like that all the time in the gym. You don't even think twice. Her second might even look better than her first.
Charlie Chester, Great Britain, 175.
And Chester has the strength. If she keeps it tight, keeps it close, also a podium favorite. She's hit 200.5 kilo previously, which is a British record.
Squat.
She's more than capable. Looks smooth. See what the judges say for
Pretty
depth.
smooth all the way through.
They like it. Yeah, I mean, there you go. She keeps on pace.
So this weight class is so strong. The world record is 262 and a half.
In the squat, yeah, is that Bonica?
Squat.
Or Lee Hewitt? Yeah.
Rack.
And it's a 175. And she gets it on the board, just high on one side there. Daria Efenseva from Russia.
5-year veteran at 19?
Yeah, she's been
Whoa.
at the top of her game for a long time. So she picked up 4th at the World Open Powerlifting Championships in the Opens in Homestead. I'm pretty sure she picked up the gold medal in the juniors in Belarus in 2017, if I remember rightly. And having to only come to Sweden is a great advantage. 1 hour difference in time zone. You know, it's about 3 hours of flight time.
And she is the youngest competitor in 84 plus, but with 5 years under her belt, it could be deceiving. Can't look past her.
Squat.
Wow.
And she looks as good as ever.
Wow.
Yeah, she is not looking like she's going to falter at all.
No.
And that is exactly what I would expect from her.
There's a lot of room left on that squat, and it's already possibly the gold medal squat.
I'm just having a bit of a look through her resume there. And she picked up a bronze medal, I think it was one of her first international in 2016 at the World Junior Sub-Junior Championships with a I think she hit a 142. She's got a world junior record, a sub-junior record in there in that competition as well. And yeah, she did. She picked up the gold medal in Belarus. So right now, Sara Passari, 155 from Finland. This is her second lift now.
10 kilo jump, but still 5 beneath her personal best in competition. Should be manageable. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that looks pretty solid. It was smooth all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. It's on the board.
And so far, not a single missed lift in the 84 plus, and not too many grinders either.
Yeah, they're picking their numbers well. Sarah Gardner from Ireland, 165. The Irish team, very busy. Coaching staff are absolutely flat out.
Nice
Depth is
step.
good from here.
Yep. And again, that looks like an appropriate second attempt. It's work. It's not the top end. Definitely left herself some room to improve from there.
You've got to be thinking of the long game. You've got to put some energy in the tank and make sure you've got something left at the end. I've seen too many athletes put in so much energy in their squats and their bench. When they get to the deads, they're struggling to hit their openers. You just need to leave something in the tank. Melissa Bird from Great Britain, 172 and a half.
Her previous competition best being 140, completely smashed by now. This is a 10 kilo jump from her opener, which moved well. She gets very tight in the upper body.
Squat.
It allows her to fight when she needs to. Oh, there's a sticking point.
Push the knees out, and you can see as soon as she pushed the knees out, she stood up.
Yeah, there was a sticking point there. She was moving so quickly until she hit it.
And you can see on the replay, the knees drop in, but as soon as they push out, oh, there she goes. She remembers, and it stands up. Shelby Miles from the US, 177.5.
10 kilo from her opener, and as the weight increases, so does her intensity.
Yeah, she's really brought the fire on this one.
Yeah, you know, there's only so many times you can get yourself wound up, and now's the time to do it when the weight starts increasing in 10 kilo increments. We're also starting to approach her previous personal best. Judging on this, we might see a personal best attempt in her third.
Squat.
It's right on the line for depth, though.
It's borderline, and it was tough. Yeah, she doesn't get depth on that one. You know, and I think it was tough because she cut it so short. There was no bounce out. Man, it just slows everything down. Merkavalo, Finland, 180. These girls are so strong. So this will be a personal best.
Yeah, it's a big 10 kilo jump from her opener.
Lock your knee. Squat.
Ooh, she's having to fight.
Wow.
And, you know, one of the things I'll credit her on that lift, I mean, she put in the fight, she gets it on the board. We get a chance to see the replay. One of the things I'll credit her on is her eyes do not come off the focus point, so her chest doesn't drop right forward.
She also brought that one elbow forward when the fight came, as opposed to shooting it backwards. The elbow points back, your chest comes forward. The elbow points to the ground, your chest stays up.
You gotta pull those elbows through and lift that head up.
Well done.
So Charlie Chester, Great Britain, 185.
$10 kilo jump for Charlie, but still quite a bit below her personal best, depending how she hits this.
She has a very loud supporter in the stands as well. And it's great to see so many people have come to support friends and family and just athletes in general. Smooth all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Never looked in doubt.
Mm-hmm. 3 whites.
Never looked in doubt.
They might want to let it fly for the third. I think she's got some room.
Yeah, look, I honestly wouldn't be surprised to put another 10 kilos on there.
I would say.
In this weight class, you know, it is still a big jump, but in this case, I don't think it's a huge jump coming by that squat.
You don't want to go home thinking, I played it too conservative. You know, this is the time to take risks.
Sydney Govels, 185.
Squat.
Depth is good.
Ooh, but just a little bit too heavy.
Yeah.
She looks a bit shocked that it was too heavy. I think she was expecting it to be a bit easier.
See if she was pulled out of alignment at all. The elbows, well, yeah, the wobble. You know, maybe I like how her elbows came down underneath the bar to stay upright, but there was a wobble, pulled out of alignment, and
The bar.
Oh, the bar moved down? Okay.
Yeah, so just the head coach there coming over to ask about it. He felt that the spotters might have taken it too early, but the jury just confirmed that the bar actually came down before the spotters took it. They've been doing a great job out there.
Yep.
Daria Efantseva from Russia now, 222.5. And this is the sort of jump I was expecting from her.
12 and a half kilos, but she absolutely smashed through her
She
opener.
has. She's got a lot in the tank. She's a very experienced lifter for such a young age. She's been lifting competitively since she was 14.
Squat.
She's so calm.
Look at that.
And it was a little bit of work through the middle.
As you would hope for a second, but I still feel it's quite a bit
Never
left.
looked in doubt, though.
No.
Never looked in doubt.
Never, and there it is. It was work, but at no point was I ever in doubt. Look at that.
And, you know, you listen to the crowd around us on that squat. Everyone was clapping. You know, it was such a great demonstration. She's 19 years old. She's so calm. Yeah, it's so professional.
I think we're going to see a 500-pound squat from her today. Yeah, at least 5 kilo. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
I'd
honestly
be
10.
considering pushing 7.5. She's pretty safe, maybe even 10. She's in a pretty safe spot. Since she's got her opener on. So Sarah
7.5 it
Vasari,
is.
165. To give her a nice little personal best to take home with her.
Squat.
She also has pretty good squat technique. Depth is there. Keeps the knees out, but
And she did everything right then.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just too heavy. If you see the replay, you know, her head stayed up, chest stayed up, knees stayed out. She did everything right.
yeah.
It was just too heavy. Sarah Gardner from Ireland, 167.5. She's bringing the fire on this one.
165 was her second attempt. Just a 2.5 kilo incremental jump. Smallest one you could take. Perhaps sensing the end is near. Would love to snag another 2.5 kilo before.
Well, she's got the fight of the Irish in her. And she gets it there.
3 for 3.
Good start. And Melissa Bird, 177.5. So 177.5. Her 172.5 a second. 5 kilos. I think that's fairly reasonable.
Yep, when you start getting around that kind of weight, as you had said previously, 5 kilo, it's about right.
Yeah, I mean, in this weight class, in this sort of weight, 5 kilos, when you unrack that, it's probably not going to feel that much different. And
The
those
knees
knees
though-
came in, and you could see
Yeah.
as soon as they came in, their power just left.
There's nowhere to go once you handcuff yourself by the knees like that.
Shelby Miles, 180. Now, she missed a 177.5. She's thrown it on the 180 because this will temporarily put her into a bronze medal position.
177.5 was a depth call, was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think the strength is there.
Rightly.
I think it moved well. The strength is there. 2.5 kilos in strength-wise should be there. Dip it slightly lower. You're right back on track.
Yeah, I mean, really, what she needs to do is just sit back, drop into that hole. I mean, her head's in a good position, chest is up.
That looks better.
Depth looks better on that one.
Yeah.
It is. Big call by the coach. And the coach should have gave her a look there as she walked off. So why didn't you get your second one?
But you know what? Having said that, that looked like quite a bit of work. I'm not sure how much more she had in the tank, so perhaps all's well that ends well. Had she hit that in the second and went up, she might have expended the gas tank and
That's
missed.
true.
Just another way of looking at it, trying to be positive.
Mirka Valo from Finland, 185. Gets in deep and it just pops forward again.
Yeah, it was a down up for sure. And it wasn't
She's
far.
fought it on the last one, but it was just a bit too much to fight on this one. Sydney Govels, 185, missed it on her second. Looking for it again.
Now, we had thought she just got pulled a little out of position. If she could sit back into position, the strength might be there. And we all know, when the bar path gets wonky on you, it's hard to recover.
Yeah, it really is about keeping that chest up, the head up. And look at the difference.
Much better. And that's
What a difference.
yeah.
Oh, not deep enough. Just not deep enough. I'm just wondering if the head coach is going to want to, he's having to think about it.
I think they waved him off.
Yeah, and we'll have a look at the
Safe.
replay, and you can see that she was just high. Charlie Chester, 190. So below her personal best. So
I-
going to put a safe number on.
Yeah, I think she should hit this. I'm expecting her to hit it quite well.
I mean, I think this is a good plan. It's a fairly safe number.
I thought it might be conservative, but we'll see. No, that was work. That was definitely work. Was it deep enough?
And it is.
Good enough. 2-1.
And now we just saw the other spotters run up because we get past 200 kilos. We have 5 spotters. Daria Efensiva from Russia, 230 kilograms.
So there you are. For the North Americans, we're into the 500s. It's a big squat.
230 over 500 pound. Now, a second one. .230. At 222 and a half, she faulted a fraction in the middle,
Yeah,
but it didn't look at all in doubt. I mean,
was-
the facial expressions didn't say it was tough or anything like that.
it was work, but
This one she's going to have to put a bit of work in, I think.
this one might actually be a fight.
Oh,
the
she's
same
got a fight too.
same spot. It paused a little longer, but she battled through it.
And she gets it on the board, and it's great to see that she has a fight in her as well.
Yeah.
And especially where she's in those squats. I mean, she could have got away without even putting one on the board there, but she still fought it, and she's still got a fight in her. So she is going to be really, really hard to catch. You're going to need a miracle to get behind her. Don't go away. We're going to be back in 10 minutes' time, and these ladies are going to show us just how strong they are on the bench press. Welcome back to Helsingborg, Sweden for the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships, and myself and Ryan Six-Pack Labadap are going to take you through all the bench press action with the 84 and 84 plus junior women, and it is going to be an interesting one. We've got a few favorites there, but they've got to put the openers on the board first.
Yeah, we were treated in a squat event. FM Stiva really put on a squat clinic in 84 plus. 84s, it's a little bit tighter and still anybody's race.
We've got 45 kilos on the bar for Toshishita now from Japan. And just waiting for our side referee. We've misplaced a referee. Occasionally they go missing.
Yeah.
Rashid jumping in. And president of the Asian Powerlifting Federation.
Hard-working guy.
Very hard-working guy. He's been here every day, all day. Toshishita now from Japan. 45 kilograms. And good opening lift. Now, we joke about the referees, but these guys work tirelessly all day, every day. They get about 30 seconds to go to the bathroom in these sessions.
Yeah, it's
And you got to take your hats off. They're volunteers. They love the sport, and they are the ones that make all this possible.
and again, they're literally in the hot seat. You only recognize them if you disagree with something they said. All the times you agree, they get no credit. So, hats off to them.
Absolutely. Anna Niemczyk from Poland, 57.5. This is always fun, I think, in the women's sessions to watch all the different ways they set up. Everyone has their own little technique. Man, a very good opening press.
It's how you want your bench openers to move. The bench comes it turns heavy very quickly, sometimes without warning. One move's very nice, jump up 2.5 kilo, brakes can come on, it turns into a grinder. So don't chance the opener.
Yeah, there's a big difference in feeling between 2.5 kilos on your back in a squat and 2.5 kilos on the bench.
100%.
Graceland Dugan, Canada, 75 kilograms.
So it's 10 kilo below her personal best. And 10 kilos a nice spread. It's a safe opener. She worked for her squat opener. Let's see if she has to work a little less for her bench.
And a little bit off center, but certainly no problems.
Yeah, bar speed was quick on the board.
Yeah, she was tight all the way through. Ines Alache, 77.5 from France. Good conservative opening lift here. And this should move quite well, I think. The French have been very, very strong.
Yeah, they got a pretty big team, and they're
Yeah.
usually at the top of the rankings.
And there's been a couple of French athletes we've seen this week that are absolutely crazy strong.
Wow, nice.
It was smooth all the way through. Big
Yep.
power drive off the chest. Yeah, and you can see, if we catch the replay on this, you can see as she presses the big drive through the legs. Pushing everything back and up. Nomura from Japan, 80 kilograms. So world record, 127.5 in the 84s. And we do have an opener of 120 there. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
Nicely done, very smooth. Now, ordinarily in the bench event, there isn't a massive spread, but in this case, almost like a Jen Thompson situation, the American Thurston could cover a lot of ground.
That's a huge opening lift
Yeah.
at 120.
Have to see if there's any indication if she's closer to the limit, but nonetheless.
And Selena now from Finland, 85. Just wants to put this one on the board. Follow her plan.
Start. Press. Rock.
So it moved fairly well. It was a little, looked like a little slow off the chest. Anastasia Maneva from Russia now, 95 kilograms.
Everybody's on the board so far.
And you can just see her focus increasing throughout the day. So 7.5 away from her personal best.
That is quite the bench setup, flaunting some mobility.
Start.
Yeah, that chest is up high.
Nicely done.
Big leg drive.
3 white lights.
And I swear she just defied gravity standing up there.
And I'll check out the mobility on some of these ladies. Yoink.
Paulina Oleszewicz from Poland, looking for 95.
Now the Poles had opened pretty heavy, hit their seconds, and faltered on thirds. Let's see if they're giving themselves a little more room coming into the bench event.
She's pretty close to a personal best here.
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
Start. Press.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
almost
she's
no room at
opened
all.
very, very heavy.
They're opening really heavy today for some reason. I
Well on
thought
the board. You know, I mean, the problem is now you don't have any room to move.
and you got 2 more.
Yeah,
You're going to start expending, when you're grinding already in your opener and you grind 3 more times, it gets tougher and tougher.
Jessica Lowe. An experienced champion. Last year in the juniors.
And a big crowd favorite. Surprise, surprise.
And she has been very good with the lift selection so far. Let's see if she's on point on the bench as well.
Start. Press. Rock.
That was easy.
Ah, very well done. It looks like a good opener. Oh, she
Jump
gets
the press
2 red
command, I
lights.
think. Did she?
And it's a yellow card, which yellow is usually for movement of the feet or the butt. And the Swedish coach coming over.
They're explaining what it is. I think our producers listening in could maybe clear it up for us.
Yeah, so once they try and do that, Ayla Thurston, 120. So we'll see if we can find out what it was for.
I guess it was, I'm being told, heaving from our producer
Oh,
here.
okay.
Press. Rock.
3 white lights.
20 goes on.
In all honesty, that's probably the gold medal right there, but she's going to want some more kilos towards her total.
It's you know, it's the heaving is a tough one because you know you've got to be careful with your technique that you're not dropping and heaving off your chest.
The bar can only go in one direction, so after you get the press, it's tempting to try to get that extra momentum, dip down and then press, but you can't dip down if you get the press command. Only up.
Toshishita from Japan, 50 kilograms. Thurston's put in a 125 for a second. I think that's a smart choice. And gets that on, if she can get that on the board. Toshishita hits a nice 50. Anna Rimsek from Poland, 62.5.
So this is going to set low a little back. She's got to retake her opener.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, I think that's 5 kilos that wasn't in the plan. I mean, I imagine she was looking at 97.5, then probably 102.5. So she's probably going to finish a couple of kilos less than where she wanted to be at this stage.
Unless she gambles, hits this, and takes her planned third regardless, but that leaves the door open for if she misses her third, she falls back to 97.5.
I think she's experienced enough to say, no, we go to what our second lift was going to be, and we work on making it up in the deadlifts.
Start. Press.
Oh, it's just a little too heavy there. Just didn't seem like enough leg drive on that one. Let's have a look and see. Maybe we'll be able to see in the replay. Just doesn't seem like she really drove to the legs. Yeah, you could see there was just just mistimed the leg drive a little bit. Graceland Dugan, Canada, 80 kilograms.
It's 5 beneath her best. 75 was a bit of work. Is 5 kilo in the money? Gonna find out.
It is top drum order. The extra congress will be at the arena. The congress will be in this arena. 1900.
Graceland Dugan.
Start. Press.
Oh, it's tough.
It paused. I don't think it came back
Didn't
down.
look like it came back down from here, but center referee and side referee got a different view than we have.
Take a look at this replay.
Yeah, there's just a little dip as it came off her chest there. So Ines Alache from France, 82.5. So that was a good pickup from the referees. $82.5. This is just below her personal best.
5 kilo jump. I'm expecting this to move.
Start. Press.
Oh, just a little too much there. She looked a little awkward on that one.
We're getting quite a few misses, and we're only in the second attempts.
Yeah, she looked a little awkward when she drove through the legs there. Nomura from Japan, 85. Let's see if we can break this trend here.
Yeah, out of the last 5 attempts, 4 of them were misses. The success rate is lowering drastically, and we need some more green on the board.
We do like the color green.
Start. Press.
That's more like it.
That is more like it.
And the 3 white lights.
We're back in the green.
So Henna Kastalainen now from Finland for a second, 90.
Kastalainen, if she gets this, staying within 10 kilo of Thurston. She's also opening in deadlift 10 kilo heavier. Can quickly recover ground, so just wants to keep it tight in the bench press. Tight enough that she could possibly pull ahead
Yeah,
in
look,
the next
I mean,
event.
we had exactly the same situation with Ida Ron the previous session.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just stayed close all the way through. Didn't get caught up in the little games, and then at the end, in the deadlifts, that's where she did it. And that's a nice, smooth second.
Those 5 kilos didn't slow her down much.
Polina Oshowitz from Poland, 97.5. Just the 2.5 kilo jump, which I think is right on point.
Yeah, we thought this was her opener was a little grindy for an opener, 2.5 kilo, and then maybe 2.5 kilo more. Although this is probably going to be right at the limit.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really tough. Oh, it looks
That
better.
was easier.
Smooth, better. She just timed everything properly.
Yep.
Coach is happy with that.
Kicked it up to a higher gear, and I think 2.5 kilos in the tank now.
Jessica Lowe, and probably the most important lift she's had for a while.
I think she's good for it. It was a technical error. She'll
She's
tighten it up.
certainly good power-wise, and the coaches would have been out the back talking to her about that and what it was for, and they would have been looking at, all right, this is what you need to do. This is how you're going to fix it. You're going to get that chest up. You're going to keep those shoulders pinned back in, lats tight. And, you know, it's tough now because the referees are looking for that too. That's better.
Nice.
That looks a lot better. I
Right.
can see the referee's actually nodding there.
Rights
Well
the
done.
ship, back on track.
And, you know, that's the experience coming through. And just having a little discussion with the coaches about what she wants for her third.
Based off that, I think she got another 5 kilo winner. That was pretty quick and smooth.
All right. Anastasia Miniva from Russia. 100 kilograms. Just shy of a personal best of 102.5.
Big arch, very flexible, and just stands right up out of it once she's done.
Nastya from Russia. Oh, that was the right amount of work for a second.
Yeah. Yep, go a 5 kilo jump from opener to second, maybe 2.5 to third.
Yeah, look, 2.5. If you know, if you're looking at playing it safe, 2.5 as a solid bet. Push to 5. You know that extra. You push to 5 on the bench. The extra 2.5. Realistically, you do. You drop from 85% probability right down to 50%.
50-50. And, you know, she'll probably pick up a bench medal, whether it's bronze or silver, and adding kilos to the total.
So right now, Ayla Thurston for the USA, 125. This is just a feather shy of the world record.
Depending how this moves, I mean, the smallest incremental jump is 2.5 kilo. Probably going to add that extra chip for the record.
I mean, she has to go 2.5.
Why not add a chip?
Crazy to not to go 3. And gets that one on the board.
And strategically speaking, and you saw before, that extra chip forces a competitor on your heels.
It can make the difference.
Yeah, they have to go up a full 2.5, whereas you only had to go up half a chip.
That extra half a kilo can make a huge difference at the end. So we come around for their thirds now. So Tosha Shida from Japan wants 57.5.
This is going to equal the heaviest bench she's ever had in competition.
And she's having a pretty good day. Gets that chest up nice and high. Oh, and it's just a little bit too heavy today. Anna Niemczyk from Poland, 62.5. This will be a personal best, I believe.
Yeah, by 2.5 kilo. It'll be her second attempt
Yeah,
at this weight.
It was just a bit tough. It was a bit tough on the first one. Just didn't really get the leg drive.
Start.
Let's see how we go this time. Oh, look at that.
Much better than her second attempt. 3 white lights.
Absolutely.
And a new personal best.
That's a nice way to do a third lift there. Graceland Dugan, Canada, looking for 80, so she missed hers on a second as well.
Another technicality, so if she could fix it up, maybe bounce back. Haven't seen her fail a lift on strength yet, but these technicalities can cost you. Cost her 5 kilo already.
Yeah.
She could get those 5 kilo back.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 2.5 kilos that she was probably going to add on a third that she can't add now. And yeah, it's just too much, isn't it?
Now, yeah.
It just doesn't want to shift. I mean, the technique wasn't severely off or anything like that. And you can see as she pushed, just collapsed the chest and the shoulders just a fraction, but it took the drive away. Ines Alochet from France, 82.5. So 82.5. Pressure lift to get this one on the board.
Oh, it's fast.
And she puts the fight in for that one.
I think she's got it.
She does. Well done. Great comeback.
Yeah, it's always tough missing a lift, coming back, hitting it, and she sticks with it, never stops pressing it or losing form. Sometimes when under pressure, you could cut the elbows out too early, get spread out by the weight. You're little.
And I mean, that's the thing with bench. It's so technical. There's so many things that can go wrong.
Amen to that.
Nomura from Japan, 87.5 for her third.
Yeah, it's stapled to the chest.
Yeah, just wasn't going to happen.
Sometimes that's the way it goes. When you have a big setup like that, the ending comes quickly. You know, she kept the tension on, but spread her out.
Hanna Casalena now from Finland, 92.5. And Thurston has put in a 128.5. I thought she would have just gone the 128 even.
Yeah. Perhaps they're thinking, you know, if we can get, it's because it's still an off increment, forcing the other lifters to move up, but perhaps thinking if we could squeeze another kilo, she's actually trying to cover ground in the bench, which is a little unusual for some lifters, but this is where she's going to create her base.
Oh, she's fighting. She's fighting, and there it is. Put in a great fight.
Great attempt selection by the Finns. Got the most out of the lifter there. No question about that.
Paulina Waszowicz from Poland, 100 kilograms.
This will temporarily put her into a silver medal position. $2.5 kilo jump and a jump onto the podium.
It could make all the difference here. I mean, this could pull her up there. She's got 3 lifts to come after, but we know, we know the 3rd lift probability. So if she can get this one on. And yeah, it was just a fraction too heavy.
It was definitely worth a try whenever.
It was, and the 100 kilos too is a bit of a mind game as well.
Yeah, those even numbers, if you haven't hit them before.
You probably could have put 99.5 on there. She probably could have done it.
99.9 even.
Anastasia Minieva.
Now, someone not afraid of entering into the triple digits. She's hit 102.5 previously. Can she hit it again and secure her medal?
Yeah, this is where she wants to hit it.
It's either a bronze or a silver. If she hits this and Lowe comes out after her and misses, it's a silver. She has to do her part first.
Well, this is her opportunity.
Start. Press.
And it looks good.
Nicely done. Wow.
It is good. She gets 1 red light.
So temporarily in silver medal position, temporary low, and this is for the bench, temporary low is in bronze. She could swap medals with Kasalainen.
Yeah, so this is her opportunity now.
Pardon me, Nieva.
102.5. We said 5 kilos. We said go to your second. She has.
Yeah, let's see if we're right.
And I think that's the smart move.
Well, it not only builds to the total, it collects a medal along the way. The crowd knows the implications of this press.
She's played the smart card here. She's looking at the long game.
Yeah.
Start. Press.
Oh!
And it's a fight, but it's just a little too much in the end.
Gets a bronze medal nonetheless. She's on the bench podium.
So Ayla Thurston now, she wants to have a crack at the world record. She's got the gold on bench already wrapped up. It's in her pocket. And right now, she wants the world junior record. It is 127.5.
Yeah, and I think kind of like you usually say in terms of strategy, world records are nice. She only needed a chip to take the world record, but the bigger picture of being a world champion's better. And they're thinking, we think you got more than chip. We think you got a kilo. It's worth adding a kilo to the total.
Well, it's a big call. Let's see how she goes. This record was set in Calgary last year. Daniela Mello. And right now, Ayla Thurston, she wants this record.
21 years old. Only competing 2 years, and here we are already.
Look at the height she's getting on that chest.
Amazing flexibility. There you go.
It was better than her second.
Yeah, probably could add it a few more kilo, but
when she hit a second at 125, I thought that extra half a kilo to 128.5 was a stretch, but that was better than a second. So she gets the world record and she gets the gold medal in the bench. We move straight to the 84 pluses now. So the world record in the 84 plus is 135.5. So right now, Sara Passari from Finland, 65.
it's 2.5 kilo away from her personal best. Interesting to see how this moves for her.
Sara Passari.
Well,
Oh, she nails that.
her personal best is no longer 2.5 kilos away, I'm sure.
Yeah, she just absolutely destroyed that one. That was a great opener.
Yeah.
Well picked. So Melissa Bird from Great Britain, looking for 80. 21 years of age, 1 year competition experience, and you can see, you know, she walks out there on the bench, just looks a little bit shy. It's a big job getting on the world stage. You've been there yourself. You were there the other day.
Yeah, even after I've been doing this over 10 years and you still get nervous. Wasn't my first time, but it felt like it.
Yeah, it's a tough call. She gets it. 3 white lights. Yeah, and you know what? That's it. You've been doing it 10 years. Not your first time on the world stage, and you still get nervous.
It's a good thing. I know the stress, you know, it keeps you up at night, but adrenaline only comes through a little bit of anxiety. Doesn't feel great mentally, but through your system, when you have adrenaline going, you're capable of big things when it comes to strength.
Well, and we certainly saw that. Picked up a few medals yourself.
Thank you, sir. And
Sydney Gubbles from Canada, 80.
5 kilo away from her previous personal best.
And she's got
Oh.
that technique of sinking into her chest there. It was super fast.
I was just about to say that the Canadians' previous personal best, because the Nationals weren't that long ago, probably are a closer indication of these lifters' limits. The way
maybe
she
not.
moved 80,
In that case, maybe
Yeah.
not.
maybe she was sandbagging her bench at the Nationals.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
know what? And it's actually, I mean, and you're right. I mean, the Nationals weren't that long away. Don't see it so much in the sub-juniors and the juniors, but you will see some open lifters just lift what they have to lift at Nationals, knowing that the worlds are pretty close.
You got to secure your
And,
spot,
yeah,
right?
I mean, and you don't want, I mean, if you're doing a complete, absolute 1 RM, you know, a month out from a World Championships or even 2 months, the recovery time is not enough to really perform at your best at the World Championships. Sarah Gardner, 87.5.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, you've got to manage not just your energy levels at a competition, you've got to manage that throughout the year as well. And if you're filling in too many competitions, you're not going to perform your best.
Yeah, the fatigue your nervous system can get. You know, you don't bounce back like you think you do. Mentally, you think you're there, and then you get under the weight.
And especially now that we've invited you into the Masters world, takes a lot longer to recover. Mirka Valo, Finland, 95. So just shy of a personal best, 95.5, which was assumed as a national record. Very nicely done. Now, our chief referee here today is probably my favourite referee in just the way she says press. I just love the way she says press. She's got that rolled R. It's fantastic. Nice and loud. Charlie Chester, Great Britain, 97.5. Wow, she's got some mobility, hasn't she? She has got some flexibility. Gets that chest right up high. Yeah, let's squeeze that bar tight.
Charlie, really looking to get on the board and establish yourself as a podium favorite. Well,
And there it is. It's on the board.
there's a lot of lifting left to go, but there's a bit of a gap, 1, 2, and 3, and the rest of the field. We've seen these gaps, you know, get destroyed come deadlifts,
Yeah.
but Charlie doing her part to maintain.
So Daria Evanseva from Russia now. 117.5.
Speaking of a gap, wow, did she put one in on the squat event.
Yeah, so her focus now is get my opener on bench, get my opener on deads, make sure I'm safe all the way through.
Yep.
And then I can look at, well, how far can we go? But the openers are important. I mean, she might get an extra maybe 7.5, 10 kilos to a total out of a bench.
Start. Press.
Fantastic. maybe 12 and a half.
Yeah, like you look at 117.5, moved very quickly. She did the same thing with her squats, and I like the strategy. Make the opener, which is the second most important lift. Obviously, your third is very important as well. Just get yourself on the board and make it look like a warm-up.
117 and a half now for Shelby Miles.
Out, 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 out.
Shelby Miles, 117 and a half.
Lighter on body weight. If her and FM Steva stay neck and neck throughout the bench, Ty will go her way for the gold in terms of medals.
Start. Press. Rock.
Slower, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean,
If they are going toe to toe, I think FM Steva's
she's
going to pull away.
She's going to push her. I mean, it's going to be tough though because FM Stevie's gone for 127 and a half for a second.
And honestly, I think that's there the way 117.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was always the plan. Open light, take that big jump.
Like an FM Steva is picking up steam. However, Miles, in terms of the projection, has to be looking behind her more so than in front of her with Valo. Just two and a half,
she's
ever so
not
close.
far behind her there.
No, not at
and
all.
she really needs to be keeping. Well, she keeps an eye behind
Mm-hmm.
because you can get very caught up looking forward, chasing that gold, and not even see it coming.
Somebody creeps up behind you very patiently and quietly.
Sara Passari from Finland. Looking for 70 for a second. And
Nice.
nice one. That was a very nice second. There's plenty of room left in the tank. Plenty of room to move. Melissa Bird, Great Britain, 85. And Miles has put in a 122 and a half for her second.
I think she'll be good for another 5 kilo, but we'll see how that moves in terms of her third.
Melissa Bird, 21 years of age, 1 year competing. And, you know, you can see the way she walks out. She's a little bit nervous, a little bit shy. Gave a little bit of a smile to the spotters.
Start. Press.
And she's doing a great job, though.
Handled the 5 kilo. There's a sticking point. Press past it.
Coach would be proud. Sydney Gubbles, Canada, 87 and a half.
7.5 kilo jump. 2.5 kilo personal best. We'll see how she handles it. 80 kilo, we both thought was very quick, and 85 is nowhere near an indication of her limit anymore. I'm thinking this is going to move fast as well.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a great setup.
Yeah, no, she's got
Gets
tons
right
of
up on those
flexibility.
shoulders. And, like, you know, perfect lever arms. She's got the fulcrums where she wants them. Ooh. She hit the sticking point and folded. I think it dropped. It did.
Yeah, it definitely did. It's
Wow.
She
it
might be-
moved so quick. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what happened there.
just that. Let's see if there's. Oh, the butt came
The
up
butt
too.
lift, and that's what caused it as well.
It just wasn't going to happen. She might get it in the return, but a little
No,
surprised.
I don't think it was a strength issue. I think it was more of a technique issue on that one. I think she just relaxed in the wrong place. So Sarah Gardner from Ireland, 92.5.
It's going to match her previous best and throw another 5 kilo onto her total.
Start.
See her tighten up as soon as she got that start command. Keep the tension on. When it hits your chest, if you loosen up even a little, that's when the butt rises. And
Yeah, I mean,
Comes off the chest wonky.
One of the things that I coach my athletes is obviously tighten up, take that big breath when you get that press command, and as you start bringing that bar down, you'll be bringing your chest to meet the bar.
Yeah, and I like that cue you use
Yeah,
in terms
well, that one.
of reminder to keep the chest and the shoulders.
Push that chest up, it brings the shoulders back in.
Yep.
Mirka Varlo, 100. Nice little personal best here. So she has a 95.5 on her resume, which is obviously a national record. So quite possibly 100 kilos might be a new national record as well. We don't know that.
Should she get it? Let's see.
And she gets it. That looks solid. Referees say yes, it is.
I'm thinking a 2.5 kilo jump, though. It was definitely...
Yeah, it was slowing down. I don't know if I'd be willing to go the 5.
I do realize, I mean, it's tempting because there's a battle to get on the podium at the top, and she's within that battle, but I think...
You know, and it is always tempting, and a good coach is going to resist that temptation and go, no, let's stick to it, play it safe, get it on the board. A 2.5 on the board is better than trying for 5 and getting nothing. And then we can make that in the deads where we can. Charlie Chester, 102.5. You know, I always stand by that. A few kilos in the bench is where it's won or lost, but it's not where you chase. 102.5, unless you've got a freakishly big deadlift.
Yeah.
A freakishly big bench, then
like
you can consider chasing.
Like Thurston, I guess.
And that was good press. A little bit of work.
3 bites.
Oh, we hit some big numbers now. Shelby Miles, 122.5. $122.5.
It's a 5 kilo jump, both on the bench as well as on her total. Valo from Finland trying to chase her down, and Valo is opening with a bigger deadlift, so she's going to need these kilo. You know she knows it. You know the American team knows it.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time. Just stay within range, stay within striking distance, and let it play out. Don't get caught up. Don't try and chase her down in the bench. Oh, good press. There's not a whole lot of room to move.
Nope. 2.5 kilo.
I'd be taking the minimum on that one. And now Daria Efestiva from Russia, 127.5.
And she's taking a 10 kilo jump. The way she doesn't gamble on her openers, if you're hanging back hoping she makes a big mistake, good luck, because she doesn't gamble.
Yeah, I mean, her openers have been spot on the money.
Mm-hmm.
Conservative, and you know she's got that experience. The coaching staff's got the experience. Put it on the board, then we can take the jumps. It doesn't matter how big a bench or dead or squat you've got if you can't get that first one on the board. $127.5.
Whoa. That was 10 kilos.
That was a pretty fast 127.5.
Yeah, here's the thing. She kind of treats her openers like a warm-up, and that was really her first attempt. She worked, but it was smooth. And I think she's got 5 kilo, but does she need it?
Yeah, there's an
5 kilo,
there's
you
an easy
think?
5 in there.
Starting to dash the hopes of anybody hoping to catch up to her.
So we come around for a Thursday now. Sara Pasari, Finland.
The one thing I will say, Miles is opening on deadlift 25 kilo heavier. So if you're thinking a miracle could happen, that's where it's going to happen. Have to see. It'd be one hell of a come from behind victory.
Well, we have seen some pretty incredible things in powerlifting, so it's not over till it's over.
Isn't that true?
She has got the fight in there.
Nicely done. That's a 5 kilo jump for her on the third.
And she gets it. It pays off. Melissa Bird, Great Britain, 87.5. Yeah, so FSC has gone the 5 kilos, 132.5.
I think it's a good move. I think 5 is 85%. Anything more, we're down to 50.
Yeah, I think maybe 7.5 there was a grind in it, but it's a lot of energy to do that, and she doesn't need to put the grind in here.
And you don't want to risk. Again, Miles is opening 25 kilo over and dead. If that's actually opening weight, she's going to cover a lot of ground.
And just a little bit too much today.
Yeah.
Sydney Gubbles, 87.5.
It's 2.5 kilo over her personal best. She absolutely destroyed 80 kilo like a warm-up. 87.5. There was a weird wobble we had seen. It could just be a misgroove. Strength looked good.
The way it moved off her chest and the way it moved after the bobble, it sort of indicates that it was really, she just mistimed everything. Relaxed, probably relaxed her glutes a little bit when she drove and lifted her butt up off the bench.
Can't lose tension. Better. Okay, that was work, but much better.
Much better.
3 whites.
And it's on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the coach there just looking at her going, and so what was the problem in the second?
I think you were right in that you lose a little tension, whether the glutes, whether the shoulders. Definitely there was some kind of tension loss because the wobble came.
And as you know, I mean, bench is technical. You make one little mistake on your timing, your groove, that's it.
And you can't fix it once the wobble happened. You know, even when you lock it out, and she did, I lost the lift.
All of a sudden, you're stapled to the bench. Sarah Gardner from Ireland, 95. Oh, good fight on that one.
Nicely done. Another 2.5 kilo for her. 3 for 3 in the bench. Now Valo from Finland. While Miles is eyeing the gold, Valo is eyeing Miles.
Yeah, she's just sneaking in there.
Patiently and quietly.
It's like a hunter watching a lion.
That's right, and doing it from far away.
102.5. She's just creeping up on her, isn't she?
And she also, while Miles has a bigger dead than Infant Steva, Valo's opening 15 kilo over Miles, so the dead can completely shake up the podium.
Fight it. Come on. Not quite. It was tough. She gave in a good effort.
Yep.
You know what? I think she did the right thing there. She put in a fight. Not too much, didn't try and go for, 10 seconds and wear herself out. She wasn't going to get it. Let's call it. We'll save some energy.
Once you realize, okay, I can't budget and I'm going 100, take the foot off the gas. It's over.
Yeah. Let's wait for some energy. That's a mature athlete. Charlie Chester, 105. Now, that big scream from the background, from the stands, "Go Charlie," sounds suspiciously like Joe Whiteley.
His voice is pretty distinguishable. He's the announcer. He's a co-commentator often, and he's very vocal when a Brit hits the platform. Bless his heart.
Charlie Chester, 105.
Start. Press.
Oh, she's fighting it. but it's just a little too much.
That was close. And
Gave it a big effort, though.
she's also another lifter that can cover ground in the deadlifts. She's also hanging close enough. Valo, Miles, FM Steva, you start missing, she hits, podium door opens.
Shelby Miles, 125. Her 122.5 was tough. And I've taken the minimum 2.5. And I certainly wouldn't have gone any more than that.
Yep, looking for a personal best, and I think this is well played by the U.S., I gotta agree. She lost a little bit of ground in the squats. She can regain it here.
Yeah, so this is an important 2.5 kilos, though. I mean, this is just going to keep that gap from behind a little bit. I mean, it's not going to do a whole lot to chase down Offensiva yet, but it's going to keep her out in front from bronze a little bit.
Not too much.
And that's tough. And, you know, and that could come back to bite her. Daria Offensiva, 132.5.
She put on a squat clinic. She's putting on a bench clinic. Her subtotal is absolutely staggering.
Well, sit down, get your chips and drinks, get your notepads out, because if you're learning to bench, now is a good time to take some notes. And 132.5. This is a big bench on any standard. Only a few kilos shy of the world record. In a few months' time, she'll probably be knocking on the door of the world record, and she's still got another few years as a junior.
Start. Press.
Nicely
There
done.
it is.
And I think
Oh, it's a long rack call.
I think they weren't sure if her elbows were locked. Yeah.
There it is.
And I think that was the perfect selection by Team Russia. Now, let me just give one preview. If anyone's watching this and you see 42.5 kilo spread and subtotal, and based off of the projection between Valo and her, Valo is opening 40 kilo above FM Stevia in the deadlift. These leads can be cut short. It's not over yet. We've seen it before, Gary.
Well,
we could see it again. It's a battle.
And it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
That's right.
We'll be right back 10 minutes time just to see what happens on the deadlift party. Welcome back to the IPF 2019 World Classic Powerlifting Championships here in Helsingborg, Sweden. And boy, are we getting a show today in the 84 and the 84 plus juniors. Welcome back, Ryan Six-Pack Lapadap. He's had a big week. Hit the stage just the other day, cleaned up a few medals for Canada as well. Got some good points on the board for his team. And now right back in the commentary box with the action. And it is heating up.
It is, my friend. It is action-packed. We're going to have some battles in the 84s and 84 pluses. So far, it's too close to call. We'll have to see how it shakes up.
And Toshishida from Japan now, 115. Taking your time. Of course, the deadlift, the only lift that you don't have to wait for a start command. You do have to wait for the down command.
Down.
And a well-picked opening lift, that one.
Yeah, the deadlift.
And you can see the look on her face there. She was a bit relieved that she got that on the board. She looks a little bit tired.
Yeah, it's the one you hit your opener, your total is secure. The last two lifts are nothing but adding kilos onto the total. You can no longer bomb out.
Graceland Dugan, Canada, 145.
I noticed the Canadian team dropped the deadlift opener a little bit to get a little positive momentum here. Smash that, get on the board, and start a new story. Nicely done.
Down.
I think she jumped the down command.
I think she might have. She did.
Strength is there, just slightly. It was
Got a little bit excited there.
yeah, almost put it down a little early.
Nastya Minieva from Russia, 150. And she's been just gradually increasing the intensity throughout each lift. And I reckon we'll see her get really fired up for a second and third. Good
Nice.
opener.
Yeah. Very quick.
Happy with that. Oh, she got one red light from the chief referee there.
Let's see if we see something on that replay.
Mightn't have been happy with the knees. Sometimes when they lean back like that, as it does have a tendency to make the knees
Yeah.
pop and look a little bit off. Anna Nimchik from Poland now, 150.
Down.
And it looks like a good opener.
Yep. On the board.
Alina Oshwich from Poland, 162.5.
Considering she's hit 177.5, I
Yeah, it
think.
should be a fairly safe opening lift, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Previous openers were a little bit of work. I think this one's going to fly a whole lot easier. Oh, a
There's a
little
lot of work.
harder than I would have thought, actually.
Yeah, she's shaking her head. She wasn't expecting that to be such a tough lift.
And even the look back she just gave, the weight. You know, there's so many variables with these girls. Nonetheless, you know, there's no crisis. She's not
on the
going to
board.
bomb.
She's
Yeah,
secured.
she's on the board.
Nomura from Japan now, 170. Well under a personal best of 200.
Yeah, sometimes when I look at those personal bests now, I'm not sure. Wow.
Down.
And just lost her balance there and got a little bit dizzy at the top.
It came up so quickly.
Yeah, she just got a little bit dizzy, and you can see.
Yeah, it was a balance issue,
and
but
she's absolutely fine. Yeah, she's absolutely fine, just a little dizzy.
she could retake. Yeah, she's actually more frustrated with the situation than
she
hurt
is.
at all. But
Certainly not hurt. Ayla Thurston, 180.
absolutely.
I mean, it's not unusual to get a little bit dizzy on a deadlift. It does happen, especially when you get into the end. You've been lifting all day. You're tired.
I think also because she's pulling sumo and her toes are pointed to her sides, the balancing sometimes at the top of the deadlift can be difficult. Now Thurston had lit it up in the bench press, gained a lot of ground. She dropped her opener a little, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually.
Well, that was a good opener.
Yeah.
Rolled pretty well. Ines Alache from France, 180. $180 kilos. She's a very strong young lady. Still got a few years left in the juniors.
Yeah, for her age, and still got 3 years left, she's right near the top.
Looks like a solid opening lift.
Mm-hmm.
That's that one on the board. So Hanna Kasalina now from Finland, 190. So put this one on the board and we can see how this is going to play out.
She's opening 10 kilo heavier than Thurston, and the spread between them, if Thurston misses and she hits, easily could catch up. First things first.
Down.
Stitch slow,
Oh,
but
that was, yeah, but I mean, a lot of her other lifts that look slow as well.
you're right.
Kasalinen. Jessica Lowe, 190. She's got the home crowd support here. So, had a little bit of a rough time on bench. Didn't end up where she really wanted to.
Did she take a medal on bench, or I think she was going for the silver and ended up with?
Down.
Yeah, so she opened at 97.5 on bench, missed it, got it on the second, then missed a third at 102.5.
Gotcha.
But she gets that one on the board and she's back on track now. Toshishida now from Japan, 130.
Looking to add some medals, and judging by that opener, she's in contention for medals event-wise in the deads and possibly podium overall.
Really taking her time, getting focused there. She has had a good day so far, but she just looks like she's starting to run out of steam.
Yeah, and 15 kilo, it's a sizable jump.
She gets it to lock out well though, move fast.
3 away lights, and that's actually moved pretty well.
Graceland Dugan now at 150.
Moved up 5 kilo, regardless of the missed opener. She has hit 175. That's 25 kilo over this. She's capable.
Yeah, I mean, she missed that opener. Gone up the extra 5.
Down.
That's better.
A lot more patient with that one.
That's a lot better.
Yep. It feels good if you miss, raise the weight, hit it anyways. It helps the confidence.
Nastya from Russia, 160. gets the lockout. What do the referees say about that? It's a good lift. Got a bit more left in the tank as well. Anna Nemchek from Poland now, 160. Opening lift of 150 was slow, but her squats look slow as well.
Yeah, some people, it's just the way they lift. It's not so much if the bar speed's always fast, it's the consistency.
And gets to lockout.
And again,
Speed
yeah.
looked better on that one.
I think a lot of her lifts, like you had said, 10 kilo extra, and the speed's pretty much the same. We thought, well, as a bit of a slow opener, that's kind of how she pulls.
Helena Orchowicz now from Poland, 170.
$10-kilo jump from her second attempt, 10-kilo jump from her opener. Oh, sorry, I'm looking ahead. 7.5-kilo jump. Oh.
Now, she's got the power to pull this. The biggest problem she had there was as she pulled off the floor, that knee just folds in, and she needs to drive those knees out against her arms.
Do you think fatigue is a factor where, and that's kind of where the breakdown of form is, if it's fatigue, it's hard to get recuperated this quickly?
Yeah, look, I think, when you get tired, that tends to be when your form starts to break down. But the key is to, your coach focusing on driving those knees out, pushing against your arms, and let your technique do the work. So Nomura hits that well.
And everybody's on the board. She was the last lifter to register.
So Ayla Thurston now 190 for her second.
Ayla taking a 10-kilo jump.
Yeah, she's brought a little bit more intensity to this one.
She's got the lead, but not the biggest puller in terms of the contenders chasing her down. So she has to pull first.
She gets that one on the board.
That moved well for a 10-kilo jump.
Yeah, moved very well. Ines Alachet, France, 190.
And Ines, she hits this, temporarily pulling herself into third position. We still got another round to go, but just an indication how close this is. Anyone in the top 5 can make the podium.
It's going to get tough now because it's a personal best. And no matter how far you've come, those personal bests, as soon as you know it's something more than you're used to, it starts to play on your mind a little bit.
Yep. Looks like a nice pull.
And looks like she handled that one, and she does.
You can see when it starts to become work in the second attempts, you start understanding how the third attempts, there's a higher failure rate, especially when you're pulling for podium or exchanging medals while on the podium.
So Henna Kassalainen now, 195. And this is an important one for her to put on.
Just half a kilo below her personal best, which is a Finnish record.
And that moved well.
Yeah, that's 5 kilo.
Well, Jessica Lowe, she wants 195 as well.
Kasalainen is close enough. If Thurston misses her last pull, she could load the bar for the win. The Finns have
she's
played it.
Just hanging in there close enough. Only just. Man, well done. Gets that one to the top. Toshishita from Japan now for her third and final lift, 142 and a half.
Is Kasalainen, do you think, Gary, ahead enough she doesn't have to defend the silver with low? And
Yeah, I think there's enough room there. I mean, that would be an enormous.
If that's the case, she should up her third attempt to something higher than the Americans, watch the American pull, and load the bar for the win. 'Cause if she doesn't have to defend the silver, you got nothing to lose. Pull for the world championship every time, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's always. I think it's a pull for the world championship every time.
Especially if you're silver.
Within reason.
If your silver's not in doubt, though.
You know, I think you've got to be, a little bit realistic sometimes, and just say, well. And
Whoa, the brakes came on quick.
just can't get to lock out.
Fast off the floor.
Yeah, very fast off the floor. So, Graceland Dugan then with 160. A 10-kilo jump, and I think that's reasonable. She missed her opener, took a 5-kilo, and now I think a 10-kilo to finish.
Yeah,
It'll move her up a place as well temporarily.
Yeah, it adds to the Canadian team's points overall for the juniors. Trying to contribute. It all adds up.
160. Oh, she's had to work hard,
I
but
think
she
she's
gets to
got
the
it,
top.
though. Yeah, it was work, but I think she
Looks
should be
good.
good for it. Three
It
white
is.
lights, a little bit of redemption for Graceland. She's happy.
Anna Niemczyk now, Poland.
Giving a quick thank you to the judges.
Yep, here, have a bit of chalk. Thank you very much. Anna Niemczyk from Poland, 170.
So 10-kilo jumps throughout from opener to second to third. Oh.
And it's just not going to get there today. She put in a great effort, though. She got that moving, and I thought for a second there she was going to keep it going, but it was just too much. It's just too much fatigue. Anastasia Mineva from Russia.
If she hits this, temporarily, it'll put her in a bronze medal position overall.
I think there's a change has just gone in.
I'm thinking it's going to be Finland.
Japan put a change in.
Japan.
Canada's put a change in. Why is Canada going to the desk? Changing their openers for possibly changing their openers for
The next flight.
for the 84 pluses.
Yep.
But right now, Minieva from Russia, 177 and a half. This will put her into third overall.
Well, those knees
And
came.
just not going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Worth a try if you're.
And you could, I'm not sure if you can hear it at home, but you can hear the coach just reassuring her that she's done a great job and it's okay. She gave it a good crack. The mirror 187.5. We'll move her up to 6 overall with it.
17.5 kilo jump from 8th to 6th, collecting some points along the way for Team Japan.
Yeah, she's got a best lift of 200, so it's not an unreasonable lift.
Okay, so the Finn did.
And just not happening today. Hasn't had the best day on deadlifts, but she's had a good day all round. So Castellana has changed, you noted.
Yeah.
200, but.
And I think you're right in terms of she would need another 11 kilo on the 200. That's 211 kilo.
So
and
she'd have to go to 212.5.
that's probably, as you said, just completely out of reach for an ask.
Yeah, so the focus really, I mean, it's completely out of reach. The focus is getting her best total.
Yeah.
Ines Alaché from France, 195. And you just pointed out before that Lechowicz from Poland has scratched her last.
This would move her into, temporarily, into a bronze medal overall deadlift silver.
Anything can happen. Oh, it's a fight, but it's just too much of a fight today.
Just above the knees.
So Castellana now with 200. So move her into the gold medal in deadlift.
Yeah, I think
temporarily.
that might have been the conversation they had out back where, look, we're reaching the end. The overall gold isn't there, but the silver isn't in doubt. Let's grab a gold in dead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where they were going with that.
Much more realistic, as you said.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to, I mean, I'm a big fan of pulling for the gold medal if the opportunity arises, but realism as well. I mean, if you've got to add an extra 50 kilos to pull for the gold, then
that's fair. That's fair.
And
look at the smile on her face.
She gets it up there.
3 whites.
So she'll roll temporarily into the gold medal for the deadlift.
Yeah, and judging by the second pulls of the other ladies,
So we've had a change go in. Jessica
Okay.
Lowe has dropped to 200.
Now Lowe on body weight, if she hits this, will take that deadlift gold. Lowe also realizing, look, my position on the overall podium isn't going to change, but I want to go home with a gold medal with IPF on it.
Yeah, and I think that was a smart move. I think the 205 was probably a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I think she was just wanted to see where the Finn was going to end up. You had to have a number higher than her to do so. By the way, based off this, the American can also drop her deadlift.
Yeah, she's just waiting around there.
Nice pull. Can she lock it out?
She does.
Gold in the deadlift for Lowe, and the home fans appreciate it.
Oh,
Nicely
Ayla,
played by Team Sweden.
Yeah, absolutely. But Ayla Thurston up now with 205, so that gold medal might be temporary.
It just might. Now, 15 kilo jump from 190. 190 was work. 15 kilo. I think she's shooting for that nice round, as we had said before, into the 500s for total. Probably a goal of hers. She's not risking the world championship. Wants to have a little fun with her last pull.
No risk here.
Coach said this is what you wanted, so I guess she did come in with this plan. Whoa!
Can she lock? She's got to hold it as well.
Huge!
She does.
Huge pull. Let's see if they like it.
Yeah,
3
she
white
gets it
lights.
on the board. takes home the gold medal, the World Championship, the gold medal in the deadlift. And Castellano takes home the silver medal overall, the bronze medal in the deadlift. Lowe takes bronze overall and the silver medal in the deadlift. And we move straight in now to the 84 pluses, and there are going to be some big, big pulls in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So current world record total, 6:15 and a half, I think.
FM Stevia put on a clinic in terms of the subtotal, but she has a drastically lower opener when it comes to deadlift, particularly the Finn Valo opening 40 kilo higher, and that is a big gap between openers. However, Gary, we've seen how some people open closer to the limit. FM Stevia, if history repeats itself, opens very light, consider it in relation to her top
Yeah,
end.
I mean, look, you've got your predicted totals, and at the end of the day, doesn't matter where you open. If you only put 10 kilos on each lift and the other lifter only puts 10 kilos on each lift, then where you open doesn't really matter. So let's just hope that Valo hasn't opened, too close to where she can move, and hope she's left some room in the tank. Because if she's left some room in the tank,
It's going to be entertaining.
and let's hope she's keeping an eye on everything around her. Miles, Miles is sitting there pretty. It's going to be very tough to anyone to catch Offensiva, but if Miles isn't paying attention to behind her,
Yeah.
Valo is going to sneak up there.
Including Chester. You look at 1 through 5, or 1 through 4. It's going to be tight.
You've got to watch your back. Sara Passari. 140, and I know myself as a coach and a platform coach, there's been a couple of times very early on in my career that I've made that mistake and not been looking behind.
I think it's just natural, as ambitious as most of these athletes are. You look ahead. You're used to looking ahead, and you think big. You always think you have more in the tank than you really do. But the coaching staff, it's really...
And that's why you want, someone with that experience in your corner. That they've lived through that life. They've made those mistakes in their career. They've learnt from them. They're not going to make them again. So Sydney Govels, 155.
Nicely done.
Yeah, it pulled fast. It was a little awkward looking. Probably wasn't her cleanest deadlift ever.
So here is the subtotal queen looking to become total queen.
And this is going to be interesting because we got Daria Offensiva from Russia pulling a 160 to open. We know she takes big jumps on that first one. So how far is she planning on jumping? And where's she going to end up?
It would be one hell of a story if one of these young ladies comes up from behind with a gap like these subtotals. But this is sports, and I've learned nothing is certain until it's over.
Well,
To be
thank
expected.
you very much.
Yep. Still sticking with the same strategy, I guess.
That looks more like she was picking up a light small box off the ground than a 160 kilo deadlift. Like she went out the front and picked up a newspaper. Sarah Gardner from Ireland, 165. And this is 165, 5 kilos heavier than Effin Steva. But this is where you'll see the difference in experience as well. Effin Steva walked out so casually, and she's just got all that world experience under her belt. Melissa Bird, Great Britain, 165 as well.
If you're wondering, FM Stevia has put 175 for her second attempt.
Yeah, so she went to 15 kilos.
She could also hold serve for a big final pull if she thinks she needs it.
So Melissa Bird, 165. Yeah, not the easiest opening lift, but it gets the job done. And Charlie Chester, 177 and a half.
And Charlie's a bit of the wild card here. She's close enough to take somebody's bronze if they start missing. She just has to stay tight. Let's see how 177.5 moves.
And of course, the one we're all waiting for too, Miles and Varlo, to see how fast their openers move.
Mm-hmm.
A good opener.
Yeah, it's a solid, convincing opener. She definitely has room. Biggest previous deadlift was 200 kilo. If she could pull heavier than that, it might be enough.
We've got Shelby Miles now at 185. Now, this is the one of the ones we really want to watch and see how fast it moves.
She's got Valo chasing her.
Has she got more in the tank, or is she starting to get to that fatigue limit now?
Looks good.
Yeah, it's a good opener. There's a bit of room left, not huge amounts, but a bit.
It would be difficult to catch FM Stevia, but she needs gas in the tank to hold off Valo at the same time.
Mercavallo 200. And really want to see just where she's open in terms of where she's progressed. She's got a personal best list of 205. She's opening at 200. And we are about to find out.
Because after this pull, she's only 7.5 behind Miles. And that's not a big jump in deads.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't super convincing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, again, 7.5, I'm saying, behind Miles. She probably has 7.5 in her. But if Miles hits her second, you know, she kind of needs some misses to start taking above her.
Well, we come around for our second round now. Sara Pasari from Finland, 150.
Now, based off of these pulls, I think it's safe to say FM Stevia can now start playing around a little bit. Secured herself.
Yeah, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, FM Stevia's got a current total of 522. She hits a second, it's 537.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
jumps will
unless Miles can add, 40 or
That's
so kilos to her next deadlift, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that'd be tough, even in the men's super heavyweights. And that one, you can just see the fatigue is just taking its toll now. Any other day of the week, 150 probably fly up.
Yeah,
But
it
the
has
fatigue
before.
is just starting to take its toll now.
And as we were saying before, so Valo is pulling in her second, and if she hits, Miles misses, they swap spots. And it's going to be this way right up until the end. And she's hoping to push Miles to finally miss. She gets to pull second after Miles.
The Sydney Gubbles, 170. Good lockout.
Yep. I think the pop in the knees, it's just kind of her deadlift style.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of
Pops
making
right
it
there.
convincing. Melissa Bird, Great Britain, 172.5. Oh, yeah, you can see technique starting to break down, just getting too tired. Yeah, you get to this point of the competition, you've used up so much energy. And Daria Efenseva from Russia. You know, and it's funny, I mean, she's paced herself really well. She's 19 years of age, 5 years experience. I mean, she's not looking tired. She's not looking like there's chinks in the armor.
in Team Russia, in terms of the coaching staff, getting the most out of their athlete, putting in those openers, they're almost last warm-ups, so she's not expending too much on them, not emotionally, not physically.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like doing 3 less lifts than every other athlete.
That's exactly how she paced herself, yeah.
So 175. Let's look at the 537 and a half. And there's a third warm-up. That's her next warm-up lift.
Yeah.
On deadlift.
Risk management, you're really not going to catch her.
It looks like she's finished warming up now.
Someone's got to let her know the competition's already started.
And Sarah Gardner from Ireland, 175. Bit of a harder lift on that one, but she gets the job done.
So Chester doing the same thing to Valo. The Valo's doing the miles. If she hits this and Valo misses, she moves ahead 2.5 kilo. Valo positioning herself the same thing with miles. Everyone's just waiting for the opportunity to move up a ranking should they hit and their opponent ahead of them misses.
Just keeping themselves in that right position. You know, I mean, they're all starting to look back now.
Yeah.
You know, at the start of the deadlifts, I think that's the point when they went, well, you know what? We're not catching Efesiva. Let's make sure we focus on everything else that's going on.
Chester does her part of the plan for Great Britain.
Shelby Miles now, USA, 197 and a half.
12.5 kilo to add to her total, defending the silver.
It's a fairly decent jump there, isn't it? 197 and a half.
She's pulled 207.5, so the Americans are thinking, look at this, 10 kilo below your best. It should be on the table for you.
Making sure she gets a good grip on that bar. Well, from this angle, that looked okay. It is.
3 whites. I think it's closer to the end than her previous best, which...
There's not a whole lot of room left to move.
It's encouraging for Valo, which is encouraging for Chester.
Valo now with 210. And this will be a personal best for her.
It's going to be interesting to see how this moves. 200 wasn't exactly easy. 10 more kilos going to be work.
And that looked pretty solid.
It was solid. Is there 10 more kilo in there? Yeah. She needs 12.5 more kilo to take the silver, or does she concede the silver and defend against Chester, her bronze?
You know what? It's a tough call on that one.
I think defend. I think it's out of reach.
You know, I never ever like to risk a medal on an off chance.
Right now, based off that, I think defend.
Yeah, I mean, if you're risking a medal, you want to be very, very confident. And an extra 12.5 is not very, very confident. That's a big call.
And that, yeah, because that not based off of that last pull. So it needs to start looking over her shoulder. Chester, by the way, has put exactly what she needs on the bar, that if she hits, she moves into bronze medal position, and Valo misses. Well, you know the rest of that story.
So Sara Passari from Finland, 150. Man, just a little heavy. Just nothing left in the tank. So Melissa Bird, 172.5. Let's see if she's got something left in the tank. She missed this one on her second. So missed this on a second lift. Wants to have a second crack at it. Has she got enough left in the tank though? It's not going to be easy.
You know, I'm the type, before I go out, you might have noticed I have the coaches yell, smack me, and send me out fired up. Sometimes you see a lifter come out to the last pull.
I mean, it's funny. I mean, everyone's a little bit different.
It's true.
But she does look a little tired. And she
Oh,
gets
well,
that one up
what do
against
I
the
know?
odds. Against the odds.
3
And
whites
the coach is happy.
to battle back and hit a lift you missed.
And it, I mean, on her second, it looked tough. I mean, the knees popped in. She just had nothing in the tank. So that was a great little comeback there. So 177.5 now. Sarah Gardner from Ireland.
Two and a half kilo jump. It's a modest jump, but when you're near the end, 2.5 kilo can be all you need to push yourself to the limit. It's more than she's ever pulled before.
And she's really fired up for it. Oh, she's going to get this. Oh, I think she just popped forward there.
I'm not sure if there's
she
a...
might have popped forward. Oh, she gets away with it.
Yeah, and so important to keep note, she definitely, her shoulders went forward. Did the bar go up, down?
No, that's right. It's all about the bar.
Yeah, so the body's allowed to bobble, not the bar. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, it's all about the bar, not the body. Sydney Govels, 180.
10 kilo jump. She likes the big jumps. She did a 15 kilo jump from her opener second, 10 kilo from second to third.
Oh, it's work. Just couldn't quite get it up the thighs there.
Just at the lockout.
Yeah.
It was close. Lots of momentum on the
She
way
gave
up.
it everything though. Hold your head high. You know what? I love the attitude that Vicky and the Canadian team is instilling in the junior athletes. Every time they come off after their last lift, she sends them out to shake the hand of all the referees. It's a great thing to be instilling in young athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So Daria Evansiva now, 190. She pretty much has the gold medal wrapped up, barring some crazy miracle pull. So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm saying it'll be a crazy miracle pull. Stranger things have happened in powerlifting.
Yeah, that would be a very big Hail Mary pass.
And this will give her a 552.5 total.
So dipping on the other side of 550, it's a nice milestone for any lifter.
And that is probably the hardest I've seen her work all day. And it still didn't look hard. Wow.
Pacing herself.
She still
well.
has 4 years as a junior.
Yeah, that's scary.
She is going to own every single junior record before she finishes, I think.
Well, the junior total record's 615.5, but, you know, 3 years, it's hard to, like, the pace has been crazy.
Yeah, at that age and in 3 years.
Yeah, it's going to be
I'm
interesting.
going to put some money down. I think by the time she leaves, she is going to own
Okay,
the
well,
total record.
it's
Without
official.
A doubt.
Talking 3 years.
Yeah, I reckon she'll own the total record. She'll take the squat record.
200 kilo pull, put her into, nope.
Ooh, just too much for Charlie Chester. She's put in a huge, huge effort today.
It was well placed by Team Britain. She
Absolutely.
was pulling to put herself in position for a podium if she hit it.
Yeah. So Shelby Miles now looking for 207.5.
So Miles dropped her deadlift at 207, and
Yeah, so this is all she needs to do.
yeah,
She's solid in that position.
she hits this, and it's equaling a personal best. It's a 10 kilo jump from 197.5, which we both thought was work.
Now, if she misses this, does then Varlo go and throw on that extra
5
few
kilo?
kilos and go after it? That's,
yeah, it's gotta
that's
be-
a within reason jump, I
It's
think.
got to be 7.5 extra because she's heavier. So it's definitely
I mean,
it's not as
I
Hail
think
Mary.
that's a within reason sort of. It's a big call,
but she
and
does she's
probably
not,
about a 45%.
or lower. But it's honestly she's not risking anything, and it's a lot more realistic.
Shelby Miles, 207.5. She will be the silver medalist overall and the silver medalist in the deadlift.
Couple of silvers to bring home. She's pulled this before. Can she pull it again?
Going to take everything she's got. And it's just stapled to the floor this time around.
197.5 looked pretty heavy. 10 kilo was ambitious. Did she overshoot in terms of trying to defend? Maybe. We'll have to see if the fin even
No,
loads.
I don't think they've even looked at changing. I think Finland are just quite happy
Yeah,
to take their bronze medal.
because if 197 was work, 210 was also work for Valo, if we're honest.
Yeah, no, I think, yeah, look, they probably looked at it and thought, you know what, it's probably not going to happen. Let's get a better total on the board.
Yeah.
And you finish on a 495.
Again, like you said, reality is reality. Whoa.
And she gets it to the top.
Are they going to like the knees?
No, she's locked it well enough. She has.
And there you
And
have
you know
it.
what?
There
Another
wasn't-
2.5
Another-
would have killed her. So,
Another one, I think.
Yeah,
that was
wasn't there. So Evan Stever pretty much put on the Evan Stever show today and showed us all how it was done. Miles takes the silver overall and Valo gets away with the bronze. It just continues to get better and better here in Helsingborg, Sweden. And don't go too far away. We'll both be back this afternoon. There's plenty more action here in Helsingborg.
All the improvements, all very well. So we are starting with the minutes in spot in the 84 that will become profitable for us. Constanza Minaela 173. Silver goes to France and is Alu or something like that, sorry, 172.
Aluash, Aluash.
Okay. And you and the goal that goes to Finland, Edna Kassai, 182.5. Thank you. Yes. France manufacturer goes to Sweden, Jessica Lowe. Silver goes to Russia, Constanza, Minaela 182.5. And the gold goes to USA, Ireland, Thursday, 138.5. That's going to be a world record. Thank you. And it's Deadlift. Bronze medals to Finland, Edna Kassai, 200 kgs. Silver goes to Sweden, and Jessica Lowe, 200 kgs. And the gold goes to USA, Ireland, first 205. Thank you. And so, bronze medal goes to Sweden, and Jessica Lowe, 452.5. Silver medal goes to Finland, and Edna Kassai, 407.5. And the gold medal goes from USA, Ireland, first time, 501. Ladies and gentlemen, please set up the national anthem of the United States of America. So that is the top for us. Also goes to USA, 7 miles, 180. Silver goes to American, and Rochester, 190. The golden goes to Russia, Daria, the scale, 230. Thank you. The Veterans, Russell goes to Greg, and Charleston, 102.5. Silver goes to USA, Sherby minus 122.5. And the golden goes to Russia, and Daria, the scale, 132.5. Thank you. In Deadlift, bronze goes to Greg and Rochester, 190. Silver goes to USA and Shelby, minus 197.5. And the gold medal goes to Finland, Nicaragua, 250. Thank you. For Togo, bronze medal goes to Finland, Nicaragua, 495. Silver goes to USA, 70 minus 500. And golden medal champion from Russia, Daria, 552.5 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for the national anthem. Round of applause. Thank you. Maestro Music. In all its round of applause.